Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you a classic Hoggcast episode in which we go over the latest Kayleigh Mcaneny press conference. We've got something to show you from her in which she not only obliterates the Democrats, she also hands the mainstream media and CNN in particular their rear end to them. So she's got a TV screen in the background in which she plays on loop Democrat hypocrisy regarding the Constitution, the Rona situation we all find ourselves in, unfortunately, and of course the election. So we're going to get into this. We'll get straight into see what Kayleigh Mcaneny's got to say. She's a very intelligent, very beautiful woman. I also saw Donald Trump's speech last night he made in regards to the irregularities and shenanigans, and it was the first speech I've seen from him in quite a while, and I was reminded of how beautiful this man is, Donald Trump. An amazing man, just a natural born leader, what the people need. So without further ado, let's get into this video. If you haven't yet though, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, the buttons down below, and share this video around. As a share button, share it to social media, Twitter, Parler, etc. It doesn't take long and I really need your help because YouTube is of course quarantining a lot of independent commentators, myself included. So if you're a Patriot, I would ask you to do that. It would help me out a lot. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'll hand it over to the amazing Miss Mcaneny.
Good afternoon, everyone. The United States Constitution matters even during a pandemic. While Democrat politicians seek to impose draconian restrictions against their citizens, this past week, the Supreme Court of the United States had their say on New York State's capacity restrictions, which restricted the number of attendees allowed in places of worship, but not other government-deemed essential businesses. Justice Gorsuch in the ruling said this as he rolled back Governor Cuomo's restrictions on places of worship. He said, quote, "It is time, past time, to make plain that while the pandemic poses many grave challenges, there is no world in which the Constitution tolerates color-coded executive edicts that reopen liquor stores and bike shops, but shutter churches, synagogues, and mosques." Behind me, you will see displayed images of Democrat hypocrisy playing on loop.
And isn't that the truth at the end of the day? The reason why the United States is such an amazing country is because of the Constitution. Don't worry, there's more to come. I just want to make a point about the Constitution. That is more than just a sheet of paper that was written like 300 years ago. It's more than that. It has a value that transcends monetary value. The Constitution and what is written on that piece of paper, and bearing in mind the woke left do see it as just a piece of paper, but it's what that represents. That piece of paper represents is what people want to go to the United States for. The United States was founded on what was written on that sheet of paper. It's now the world's greatest country that there ever was. Many people want to go there. I would have loved to have moved to the United States if I was younger. If I understood the way the world really is when I was younger, I would have went to the United States. And the Constitution is written and it's meant to be enforced so that you don't have petty tyrants like the Gavin Newsoms of the world, the Nancy Pelosi's of the world, and the other Democrat mayors, governors, senators, representatives, etc., etc., who tell you to do one thing and then they do the opposite.
These images depict the following. They show Governor Gavin Newsom of California dining both maskless and indoors at the fancy French Laundry restaurant despite severe lockdown restrictions against indoor dining for the very people he governs. You'll see Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot celebrating in the non-socially distant streets of her city. You will see Speaker Nancy Pelosi indoors at a hair salon in San Francisco when salons in California were only open for outdoor services.
And when the salon owner reported this to Fox News, because none of the other mainstream media networks would cover it because they're obviously the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, she came under attack. And none of that, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, blamed the salon owner. She said the salon owner set her up. Ridiculous. Not only that, but then the people, the NPCs, and the reprogrammed former people who make up the Democrat voter base believed it, of course, because they believe anything. I worry sometimes how stupid people can really be. And that salon owner got a barrage of hate thrown her way because people actually believed Nancy Pelosi was set up. These are the people that just vote blue no matter who, okay? And then they moan that places like San Francisco, Nancy Pelosi's stomping ground, constituency area, have trash strewn everywhere and you know what needles all over the place. They then moan. And not only that, then they then blame Orange Man. They say, oh, Orange Man bad, needle on the floor. Pelosi has been your constituency representative for like half a bloody century. But you blame Orange Man.
And you will see CNN's Chris Cuomo staging his emergence from quarantine in a made-for-television moment, coming out of the basement. And this was after Cuomo was spotted breaking his brother, Governor Cuomo's, quarantine rules to go for a bike ride in the Hamptons.
And it gets worse than that, because he was visiting his second home, if you remember, and another biker was biking along and saw him and said, I know you. You're that guy off CNN, the television. Chris Cuomo then subjected this man to a barrage of the usual, wait for it, Democrat hate. Barrage. He said to him, because he appeared on Tucker Carlson, if you can remember, and he said to the biker, this is Cuomo, said to the biker, do you know who I am? And words to that effect.
Also notable is San Francisco Mayor London Breed, who followed Governor Newsom's lead in dining at the French Laundry with a group of 8 people. And finally, Los Angeles County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl dining outdoors at her favorite Santa Monica restaurant after voting to ban outdoor dining at 31,000 restaurants throughout LA, calling outdoor dining a most dangerous situation. Quite clearly, these Democrats do not follow their own edicts. They act in a way that their own citizens are barred from acting. Governor Cuomo's decision to impose restrictions on the size of religious gatherings was rebuked by the highest court in the land.
And so it should be, because I'm not a master of the United States Constitution, but I believe, is it the First Amendment that gives people the freedom of speech, the freedom to gather, and the freedom to express their religion openly without repercussion? I believe it's the First Amendment. I believe the Second Amendment's the gun amendment to the Constitution, and I'm not sure about the others. Quote me on let me know. I know most of my viewers are American. Let me know if I'm right on that. But it's true, and it's like, have you seen the film The Hunger Games? The world the Democrats are building is an amalgamation of, if the Hunger Games, V for Vendetta, and George Orwell's 1984 had a baby together, these 3 things had a baby, that would be the utopia that the Democrats and their globalist buddies, not just in America, here in Britain, everywhere in the Western Hemisphere, but especially America, that's where the hammer's falling. And I never thought it would. But they want that world where you have a tiny elite who are dressed flamboyantly, overweight, very well fed, and you have a seething mass of unhappy, beragged people who just sit on the sidelines whilst these people this tiny minority of super elites gorge themselves in the very restaurants they've told the hoi polloi that they're not allowed to frequent or to patron.
But what was Cuomo's response? Instead of showing deference to the Constitution, he attacked the legitimacy of the court. Governor Cuomo said this: "You have a different court," and I think that was the statement that the court was making. "We know who he appointed to the court. We know their ideology." Well, in fact, the ideology of those on the Supreme Court who made the decision to support the First Amendment are in favor of freedom, the Constitution that survives even during a pandemic. This statement from Governor Cuomo strikes at the heart of the issue. Democrats seek control. These images behind me make clear Democrats' mindset. Rules for thee, but not for me. The president stands with you, your freedom, your ability to decide how to best protect your health. We all know how to protect ourselves from COVID-19, wash your hands, socially distance, wear a mask. But as one federal court put it, there is no pandemic exception to the Constitution.
And isn't that right? We do all know how to keep ourselves safe from the rona. Everyone knows, we've been told 1,000 times, people are doing it. We don't need Democrat governors and mayors and politicians to nanny state us and then do the exact opposite. What kind of example do the Newsoms and the Pelosi's and the Cuomos of the world set for their legions of NPC followers who blindly do whatever they say and then ignore when they do the opposite of what they tell them to do? How long is that going to go on for? I'm starting to get the idea and the impression that the Constitution has become a nuisance for the modern left, and that's dangerous. And also, the last thing I want to say is, in this, because this is a press conference, in this audience, there are all of the propagandists from the CNN and MSNBC. How the CNN, I don't want to use the word journalists because they're not journalists, but how they can look at themselves in the mirror, how they can refer to themselves as the most trusted name in news, it's a slap in the face to anyone's intelligence if this person has at least 2 brain cells to rub together like that. They're not the most trusted name in news. It's projection. It's classic left-wing hypocrisy. It's the opposite of what they say. It is always the opposite of what they say. They are the most distrusted name in news. Anyway, what do you think of Kayleigh Mcaneny and this speech she made? What do you think is going to happen in the coming months? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and share this video around. I need you to help me grow this channel now more than ever, because YouTube is unfortunately quarantining a lot of independent commentary channels. There's a share button down there. Only takes a few moments, and that would really help me out. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. If you enjoyed that video, if I could ask you please to subscribe to the channel, hit that little subscribe bar down below, hit the notification bell beside it and put it on notifications to all notifications. That will just notify you when I upload. I upload videos almost every day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow.